That is what comes back. So when you think positively, the universe has to honor that, and then positive things will happen in your life. Another method that you need to take into consideration is eliminating distractions. What I've noticed is that when people become distracted, they lose focus and then they can't pursue their dreams. An example for me would be when I was married. I wasn't in the best marriage, and I don't want to disrespect my ex-husband, but I just married the wrong person. And I was so distracted. I started dressing differently, acting differently, and I became this other person. And as a result, I wasn't my true self, and I wasn't walking in my destiny. As soon as I got divorced and got back in my right mind, then I became Dr. Donna, and I feel more like myself today than I've ever felt in my entire life. So eliminate any distractions that are stopping you from becoming who you were destined to be. Next, stop procrastinating. I will tell you that there will never, ever, 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 and I can say never, ever be an award show for the best procrastinator. Procrastination is just a silent thief that comes to steal you from your destiny. You can't procrastinate. When I was in the military, I had a peer who said, well, if you wait till the last minute, then it only takes a minute. Now, is that really your best effort that you're putting forth if you're waiting until the last minute? There's so much stress that's induced when you wait until the last minute. When you plan ahead of time and you don't procrastinate, you have the ability to put your best foot forward, and it's your best effort. So for those of you who are procrastinating, I want you to stop immediately, do it now, and put forth all your time and energy into becoming a person that is a doer and not a procrastinator. See yourself as a champion. All the time when the Olympics are coming about, we start interviewing all the personnel that are participating in the Olympics. And when we're interviewing them, they talk about how they've done 2-a-day practices. They've been practicing for 2 to 4 years. And at no point do you hear any of them say, I'm doing all of this because I want to come in 4th place. No one ever says that. They never say, I want to come in 4th place. Every person that's competing wants to win that gold medal. They are working so they're putting all their effort to that end. Now, if they happen to compete and they get 2nd or 3rd place, surely they will take the silver or the bronze medal, but they wake up every day with the champion mindset. How much or how different would your life be if you woke up every day and believed that you were a champion in your level, your area of expertise? Just think about that for a moment. How would you feel if every day you woke up and said, I am a champion? Would your life change? I'm sure it would. Never quit. Can't is a 4-letter word, so don't use it. We tell our children all the time, don't use 4-letter words because they're bad for us. But somehow we've allowed can't to creep up into our lives, and it is a negative, stifling word that hinders your ability to grow and be effective. So today, turn your can't into a how, turn your how into a can, and do it now. Do it today, and never, ever, ever say can't again. And then finally, sometimes leaders are afraid, and that's okay. Susan Jeffers wrote a book, Dr. Susan Jeffers, and it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I'm telling you that there have been millions of times when I was afraid. I mean, millions of times. One good part about being in the military is that when you are afraid, they find out what that fear is and they make you confront it immediately. I am not a strong swimmer. And when I was in ROTC in college, I told them I wasn't a strong swimmer. And they said, oh, don't worry about it, Cadet Thomas. They said, just go put on all your gear and then go down to the other end of the pool. And then they took my hat, as I had my full gear and weapon, and they took my hat and put it on backwards so I couldn't see and walked me up to the 3-meter board and then pushed me into the deep end. And as I was thought that I was drowning, they said, you want to live more than you want to drown. So I guarantee that you're more afraid of dying than you are of swimming. And they were right, because I'm here. I managed to get to the top of that water and swim off to the side. Now, I'm not suggesting that you drown people, but what I am suggesting is that you confront your fears. As a captain in the military, I was confronted once again with my fears. I was afraid of heights. And notice I said was. I was deathly afraid of heights, but I needed to command a company, and I was at the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And you cannot be a leader on that post without having those air assault wings. And what happened was I had to go to air assault school. And I was restarted in one of the phases of air assault school, and I had to do it over again. And during that time, I rappelled out of the helicopter, and I ended up getting burns on both of my hands. I had 19 first and second degree burns on my hands, and I still needed to complete a 3-hour, 12-mile road march in 80-degree weather, and there were a few other graduation requirements. I dug deep, and I told myself, you can do this. I didn't say can't. And I graduated from air assault school. Needless to say, it took several months for my wounds to heal, and I still have some nerve damage in my hand. But the point is, I didn't give up. I was afraid of heights. I'm no longer afraid of heights. And now I have the ability to confront whatever is going on in my life head on, and I know that I'm going to be successful. And you have that same ability, and it lies within inside of you. You can do it. Just see yourself as a champion, never quit, and continue to move forward no matter what is happening in your life. You are a victor and not a victim. Fear is good, so use it. I used my fear to get back in that helicopter and rappel down again, finish that 12-mile road march, and then go on to lead soldiers. I tell you that it's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to let the fear paralyze you. So often I find people who want to do something. They want to start their own business. They want to go back to school. They want to get out of a dysfunctional marriage, and they can't because they're afraid. And when fear is present in your life, you have to confront it, because on the other side of fear is victory. Whatever challenges that you're facing in life, whether it's in business, it's in your personal life, if it's through weight loss, whatever it is, you are equipped because you are the CEO of Me Incorporated. You can do it. Confront that fear today. And how are you going to do it? With the steps that I'm listing on the slide to get past the fear. First, acknowledge the fear. And I had to do that with the heights. I'm afraid of heights, and I had to acknowledge it within myself. And then I had to admit it. So I went to the personnel at the air assault school. I'm afraid of heights. And then I had to confront the fear. So I rappelled out of helicopters. And then in that moment, as I was in the helicopter and it was time to go through the door and slide down that rope, I walked through that fear. And I'm still standing. I'm here today in front of you. And I'm no longer afraid of heights. Whatever your fears are, the time is now to confront them. No more excuses. I used to tell people, I don't have time for excuses because excuses are just cop-out. And when I was in the military, I had a sign in my office and it had 0 excuses. And I used to tell people all the time, the maximum effective range of an excuse is 0. Why would you want to give yourself permission to fail? Because that's all an excuse is, a reason for you not to succeed. It also puts you in a place of a victim, hopeless mentality. It tells you it's okay to not graduate, and it's okay to be a terrible employee, and it's okay to be an awful parent, and it's okay to have 60 extra pounds, and it's okay to just be a loser. It's not okay. It is never okay to wake up and not go for it and not be a champion and not be the master of your fate. Never, ever, ever is it okay. Don't ever give yourself permission to do that. Excuses will keep you in your current situation forever. If you want to grow, but you're afraid, and you continue to make excuses, you are stuck, and you are going to be exactly where you are until you stop making excuses, accept where you are, and make a plan to get to a different place. Excuses steal your dreams, and they hold you captive. If you've always wanted to do something and you put a but behind, I've always wanted to, but I'm too old, I'm too afraid, I don't have enough money, whatever the excuse is, it stops you from believing and growing and dreaming. And you have to, every day when you wake up, you're either growing or you're dying. And your decision should be to be a champion and grow. And excuses are no more than our fears in disguise. We use excuses because we're afraid to admit that we're afraid. And my suggestion to you is to attack fear as if it is a virus that needs to die and get out of your life. And when you take that approach, how your life is going to change. Real leaders wear pink. I've given you all this information and now I want to empower you. I titled my book Real Leaders Wear Pink because people need to have authenticity and they need to understand where leaders are coming from. They need to understand the struggles and the strife and the trials that leaders have gone through to achieve success. And that's what my book, Real Leaders Wear Pink, is about. It's about from the time I was a 14-year-old JROTC cadet until I spent my time in corporate America and all of the successes and failures that have happened to me, both in life and from a professional perspective. And what I know now that I didn't know when I was 14 was that in life, you have to use all that happens to you because it makes you stronger and it makes you better, and your story helps someone else. Realistic. In order to be a real leader, you have to be realistic. If I came on this webinar and I gave you all of this highfalutin, non-existent, non-applicable information, how value added would your 30 minutes be? Effective. If I am not effective in my path, then we can never get to a place of anyone can lead, from the PTA to the boardroom. A is authentic. And if you think about all of the leaders from Enron and what they did and how many lives they've impacted because they weren't authentic and they weren't honest and they weren't truthful. If I did not tell you my truth, how could I walk around and say that Dr. Donna practices realistic leadership? And then L, leader-led. In order to be an effective leader, you have to be leader-led. You have to be willing to follow someone as well as lead someone to their destiny and their goals. Powerful is P. And powerful means that no matter what happens to you in your life, you know that you can survive it. Good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent, you are powerful beyond measure. Innovative. Think about all of the great ideas that exist inside of you and they're just bursting and bubbling and they can't wait to come out. And then natural. Be who you are. Every day that you wake up, be your natural self. No one is suggesting that you go and mimic someone else's leadership style or behavior. You are who you are and all you have to do is be natural, and that is enough. And then K, knowledgeable. Whatever field you're in, whatever your expertise is, just become knowledgeable in it. Become competent and become your own expert of Me Incorporated. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar. I have just enjoyed giving you this information. I hope that you have learned something can be used and value added for you, and that you understand that you can be a leader and you are the master of your fate. The next time you feel some fear, just attack it like a virus. And the next time you hear yourself or someone else in your circle stating that they're a victim, you tell them that they are a victor and they are powerful beyond measure. Here is my contact information if you would like to have a copy of this slide presentation, if you would like to learn more about Dr. Donna, if you want to hear Dr. Donna on Blog Talk Radio, if you want to become a Dr. Donna fan or join Dr. Donna on Twitter, all of that information is listed in the slide before you. My website is www.thepowerstarters.com. My email is drdonna@thepowerstarters.com. I have an online radio show that airs every Sunday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com. All of the archived episodes are there, and they're very short and very informative, as they are only 15 minutes. You can also download them to your MP3 player. And then finally, you can join Dr. Donna on Twitter at www.twitter.com/AskDrDonna. It has been a pleasure once again. I thank you for your time, and I leave you with one simple statement. Have a powerful day. Thank you.